um, see what it is that I do to make money in the stock market. There's quite a few slides I teach to the adults, but we'll skip through some of them. But I just want to pique your interest into the stock market. Is that okay? All right, let's get started. Good. All right, so my name is Victor Coleman. A lot of people call me Dr. V or Dr. Vic. So I like to call this a Stock Talk Starter Kit. This is the youth edition of it where I want to introduce you to stocks, right? And most of you probably don't know who I am, so I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I'm born and raised in Toledo, Ohio. I am a father of three. I have a 23-year-old. Believe it or not, I know I look 23 myself, but I have a 23-year-old, I have a 19-year-old, and I have a 14-year-old. And my goal in life is to teach them financial freedom through investing in themselves, whether it be through entrepreneurship, through stocks, through education, or a collaboration or a combination of all of those. Understand this, education is important. It's important for you, right? And a lot of times we think that education is only about schools or universities, when education should be a way of life every day. You should have a goal to learn something new every day. So when I think about education, I think about maybe learning to ride a bike, or I think about learning to paint, or I think about you're learning something new. That's what education is. So while you can go to school to learn about the stock market, you don't have to go to school to learn about the stock market. You can pick up a book and read a book. You can go to the library. You can go on YouTube, or you can attend sessions like these and be introduced to the stock market, okay? So let's move on through the presentation. Okay, so on this next slide, like I said, I like to call it the Stock Talk Starter Kit. And Stock Talk is just getting you to understand the language around stocks in the stock market. That's what this is about. One second, we're having a technical issue because I didn't turn the power on the remote. Just one second, I didn't turn. Oh, it says it's on now. Or did my battery die? My battery might have died on this. Good. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we call it Stock Talk because I want to get you familiar with talking about the stock market. Next slide, please, Jay. So again, my name is Victor J. Coleman, Jr. I have a lot that I've achieved in life. So in 2008 is when I left what people would say, you left the streets. It's when I stopped being a knucklehead and decided to get my life together and make better decisions. 2010, I went to college, in 2008, I went to college. 2010, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in entertainment business. In 2010, I also started what's called the VJ Coleman Jr. Flight School, and that's what this is. I wanted to teach young people, really people of all ages, how to invest in themselves and believe in themselves so they can go to the next level. In 2013, I became a real estate investor. And if you don't know what that is I started buying houses that I could make money off of to begin to create generational wealth for my family. Also in 2013, I would graduate with my master's degree in entertainment business. And then in 2019, August of 2019, I graduated with my PhD in business management with a specialization in leadership. So I've had a little journey myself where at your age, I wasn't listening to my parents. I was a little hard-headed, didn't want to follow the rules. And boy, I wish I would have listened. Here's why I wish I would have listened. If I would take what I know now and had applied it earlier in life, how much further would my life be? I don't think mistakes happen, so I'm not upset or don't regret the mistakes that I made. They made me who I am. But what I want to do is empower you to learn from my mistakes, right? So when you see your parents and they've made a mistake, talk to your parents about the mistake. Talk to your aunts and uncles or your grandparents about mistakes and ask them the lessons they learned. See, if you can learn from the mistakes they've made, how much further can you be in life? And that's what life is really about, right? It's about the young people learning from the previous generations, okay? We move to the next slide. One more, Jay. Okay. So listen, understand that money is a tool, right? And if we use money the right way, we can do one or two things. We can build a nice financial house, or we can destroy our financial house. If you've ever seen a hammer that drives a nail into the wood could build a solid structure, or it can tear down that structure. It could break the window. It could put a hole in the wall. So if we learn that money is a tool and we learn how to use money to build our financial situations, we can go to the next level. That's what this is about, and that's why I'm here to teach you. I want you at this early age, before you get in the habits of wasting money like I did, buying countless shoes and Jordans and clothes and all the fast food I would eat and just the things I did to waste money. I want to teach you how to invest your money so your money can work for you and you don't have to work as hard for your money. I'll go to the next slide. So in the stock market, a lot of people have come to me over the last year because they had what I call the trading blues. They were either new to the stock market, they were frustrated with the little or no gains in the market, or they wanted to increase their daily gains. So here's some of the money that I've made in the market as we click through this slide, right? And this is in one day's time, each time I've made that. So one day I made $456 on up to $1,000 in one day sitting in front of my computer trading stocks. I've also made, some days as much as $3,900 trading stocks in the stock market. And then when I created this course, at the time, my largest day was $14,000. Today, my largest day would be $24,000 in one day on the stock market. So there's a lot of money that can be made, but this is a skill. It takes time to learn, and this is why I want you to learn it today. You have the ability to learn about stocks in the stock market right now that will take you to the next level, okay? And it will change the way your family operates. Imagine waking up, and I know you don't work right now, but imagine waking up the rest of your life getting to do whatever you wanted to do. You could play Fortnite or Roblox or whatever video game it is you play. You could roll out of bed on the beach. You could have houses all over the country. You could have whatever car you want to drive, but it's about being wise with our dollars and putting them to work for you. Next slide. So in the stock market, people often show you how much money they make, but what they don't show people is how much money they lose. So the stock market is a risk, but what I like to teach people to do is how to invest wisely, let their money go to work for them so they can minimize the loss that they're going to have. There's no trader who has not lost money in the stock market. So if anyone tells you they're an expert and they don't lose money, they're not telling you the truth. In 1 week's time, and when I made this course, I had lost $16,000 in 1 week. In the month of February, because the stock market began to crash again, I had lost $80,000 in 1 month. Actually, in about 2 weeks' time, I had lost $80,000. And you say, well, why would you invest in the stock market? Well, the stock market is, it's about value. And at that time when the stock prices were falling, it was the value I was losing, but I still had my shares of stock. So now that the value is returning to the market, my value of what I thought, what one would say I lost, is now returning. So know this, put this in your notepads, write this down somewhere, it's very important. Investing is a long game. If it's a get-rich thing, like overnight, somebody tells you you can be a millionaire in the morning, I would be a little leery about that. I would do a little more digging and investigation. Not saying it can't happen, but just be careful, okay? Stocks are about the long-term game. And I am investing for the long term, and everyone around me is investing for the long term. So we understand that stock prices will be up one day and they can be down some days. But we know the long term thing, they continually go up more than they go down. Next slide. Trading stocks is about a mindset. We have to have the right mentality when it comes to stocks and trading stocks. And I want you to understand that Just like when you play your video games, just like when you play on your sports team, just like when you want to be a chef, you have to have the right mindset. I can't go in the kitchen and bake a cake if I don't have the right tools, the right thinking, if my mind's not in the game. I could burn the house down. No different than anything else, any other dream or goal you may have. My son loves basketball. He can't be a great basketball player thinking about football. He's got to focus on basketball, and he has to make sure he has his mind on the basketball court. If he's thinking about playing Fortnite while he's in the middle of a game, he's going to be in trouble, right? So I try to challenge him to stay focused at all times, keep your head in the game so you can win. And that's the same thing with the stock market. So you have to have what I like to call a trading state of mind, right? And you have to have the right attitude. You have to have accountability. You have to be committed. And you have to keep it real. And what these simply mean, right, and this goes to anything. I want you to understand what I'm sharing here applies to anything you do in life. If you don't have a positive attitude, you're not going to go anywhere positive in life. It's all about our thinking, right? When you wake up in the morning, your first thought should be something positive. Give thanks for waking up and experiencing a new day, right? And just like when you go to bed, give thanks for having another day. It may not have been the best day, but be thankful and grateful that you had another day. Because what I learned is somebody else didn't have a day at all. And what I mean by that is they passed away, whether it would be in their sleep or something of that nature. So always give thanks, even through your hardest times, right? Give thanks when you go to take your next test in school. Give thanks when your parents come home with even an ice cream cone for you, right? My sons say thank you constantly even when I come home with groceries, you know, and I'm grateful that they find the appreciation in even the smallest things. So learn to be grateful and have the right attitude in all you do, including the stock market, right? Next slide. So this photo here is taken of the picture of a little girl in front of the stock market. It's a statue. And this is you. This is you looking at this big building, right? You come here today and you don't even know what to expect with the stock market. So I want to teach you some terms, just some things to spark some energy and some hunger to make you want to get up, go out and learn how to be the best you can be in the stock market. In the stocks, you have to have some conditions, right? Some conditions have to be in play for you to be successful. One, you have to be ready. You have to be ready to be a part of the stock market. And that's what you're doing today. By being here, by listening to this and watching this video, you're putting your mind and yourself in a position to learn what the stock market is, to learn how to effectively make money or let your money make money for you. The other condition is the stock market has to be ready. See, if the stock market is closed or you don't have your stock account set up, those two things won't work. You have to be ready at all times. So it's just like a test in school. If you didn't study for the test in school and your teacher comes around and passes the test out, you're not ready, and you know you're not ready. You know your chances are you're going to fail because you may have not paid attention when she was teaching. You may not have studied your notes like you should have because you were too busy just enjoying life. Well, we're going to reverse that. We're going to learn some healthy habits here today. Always take note on anything you want to be good at and those that you don't even care to be good at. I know school is probably not the coolest thing right now, but you get through it and you'll get to something greater. But you got to get through this journey. It'll empower you and educate you to do something more. So if you have a pen and a piece of paper, I want to give you a few terms. Remember, it's called stock talk for a reason. There are certain terms that are used in the stock market that will make you successful. And what I found was there were adults who didn't know these terms. And I was like, wow, you know, these adults are trying to buy and sell stocks, but they don't know these basic terms. So what I want to do is empower you with these basic terms so that you can sit with your parents and begin to learn the art of trading stocks. Now, at this young age, you can't manage your stock portfolio yourself, but what your parents can do, and if they reach out to me, I'll give them some resources to help guide them in this space. They can get you set up on a paper trading account where you can start trading stocks with fake money to learn and become invested in understanding the stock market. Here's another thing they can do. Your parents can set up what's called a custodial account, and they can manage the account for you, and they can involve you in the process. And by doing that, what they're doing is they're giving you a tool that will make you successful and help create generational wealth for many, many generations to come. Because as you learn it, you'll go teach it to your friends and family, and one day you'll grow up and have children. You'll teach it to your children as well. So write down the term bull or bullish. The term bull or bullish is when traders believe an asset, right? It's what they believe about an asset. They believe the price is going to rise. So remember I said the stock market goes up? That's what they call the bull. It's when the market is on the rise and people are making pretty good money. You may even hear, if your parents are in the stock market, you may hear your parents say, today was a green day. Well, to them, that was a bull day. It was a day that the market was on the rise and they were making money. So I like to call bull days green days, and some people on the other side call bear days, as you see here, or a bearish day, they call it a red day. And that's when traders or investors feel that the stock price is going to fall, and some people begin to pull their money from the market. I'm the type of investor where if the market is red, I go buy more. If the market is green, I stand still and I watch for things that I may want to sell off to take that money and go buy more red stocks. Now you might say, why would you buy red stocks? The mentality in stocks that you should have is to buy low and sell high. So what I mean by that is when it's red, it's going to be down low. And when it's green, it's going to be up high. So if I got something up high that I've made my money on, I'll sell it and come down here and shop at the bottom. It's like when your parents go to the mall and they buy clothes on clearance. It's the same thing. I'm buying clothes on clearance because I want to get the best value for me. Okay, so you hear me say trading stocks, and when we talk about trading stocks, trade represents two things. And this is what really made me put these few terms in, because I realized adults didn't understand what it meant to trade. I had someone call me and they said to me, it was an adult, they said to me, hey, I want to buy more shares of this company. So I walked them into their portfolio and I said, hey, you see that button that says trade? I want you to click it. It says, no, I don't want to trade it. I want to buy more. And I was like, wow, here you are in the stock market and you don't know the basic terms. To trade means to buy or to sell. So I want you to understand, right? So to buy, that means to take a portion of stock into a company, or to sell, that means to get rid of some stocks that you've purchased. You're selling it back into the market. You're putting it out there for someone else. There's also something called a bid and an ask. And the bid is what you're willing to pay for the stock. The ask is what people are asking you to pay for the stock. So understand that when you put a bid out there, that's just simply saying, hey, if a stock is trading for, let's say, $1.01, your bid may say, I'll give you $1 for it. I'm not giving you $1.01. That's simply telling them what you want for it, and their ask is the 101, the $1.01. So understand those very basic terms, and we'll show them on the screen again for you so you can write them down, right? Trade simply means to buy or to sell, and I want you to understand those very basic terms, because if you learn that, you're already equipping yourself with a vocabulary that most adults don't have. Buy or sell, that's what happens when you trade stocks. So trade is a general term to buy or sell. Okay? All right, we'll move to the next slide. Now, I'll cover these really lightly because you may have never been inside of a stock portfolio, but I want you to write these down because your parents may have, and you can go teach your parents something that they may not know. They may not know this, right? But this is your chance to get involved, and you can show what you've learned today. So when you're trading in stocks, and we'll show a little more later, you want to place what's called a limit order. And in a limit order, what you're doing is you're telling the stock market, hey, I don't want to pay more than $1 per share for this particular stock. So if that stock is at $2 and you go and place your bid for $1, it won't go through unless the stock falls back down to $1 a share. Now, a market order, if you put a market order in, your order is going to go through at whatever the price is per share at that particular time. I like to tell all my clients to do limit orders because a limit order protects your portfolio. You may only have $100 to invest and you want to go buy 100 shares of stock